The Young and the Restless Spoilers. The drama that had once consumed Genoa City had now escalated to new heights, as the secrets that had been festering for months began to boil over. What had started as a routine investigation, a simple accident in Los Angeles, was now a full-blown catastrophe. The residents of Genoa City, once separated by the miles of distance between their homes and the West Coast, found themselves drawn into a web of lies, threats, and hidden motives that had the potential to destroy everything they thought they knew. As the shocking truths began to surface, the one question that remained was, who was behind Noah's accident? Noah, once a confident and determined young man, now lay on a hospital bed in a fragile state, fighting for his life after the mysterious crash. His family, especially Nick and Sharon, were racked with guilt, confusion, and fear. Their son had been on the brink of success, carving his own path in life, but now they were forced to confront the reality that someone close to them, was responsible for this heinous act. The pain of seeing their son lying unconscious, unable to speak, unable to tell them what happened, was more than they could bear. Yet they knew one thing for certain: Noah knew. He had to know who was behind this, and the fear that he would never wake up to reveal the truth was almost too much to handle. As Noah lay there, his family clung to the hope that he would regain consciousness. Sharon prayed silently, whispering words of encouragement in his ear, as if to reach through the veil of unconsciousness and remind him that they were still there. Nick, ever the protector, paced back and forth, trying to keep it together for Sharon, for Noah, but inside, he was falling apart. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time, that the truth was slipping away with each passing hour. If Noah didn't wake up soon, they might lose their chance to uncover the truth. The truth about who had done this to their son. But then, against all odds, Noah's eyes fluttered open. His body was weak, his mind still clouded, but the flicker of recognition in his eyes was all Nick and Sharon needed to see. Their son was alive. There was hope. But even as they clung to that hope, a new fear set in, the fear that Noah might not be able to communicate the truth, the fear that the answers they desperately needed would remain locked inside his mind, unreachable. The tension in the room was palpable as Nick leaned closer to his son, his voice trembling as he whispered, "Noah, you need to tell us. Who did this to you?" Sharon, her heart breaking at the sight of her son in such a vulnerable state, added softly, "You don't have to say anything if you're not ready, but please, Noah, we need to know who's responsible." Noah's eyes seemed to flicker with an almost imperceptible spark of awareness. He looked from his mother to his father, his face contorted with the effort of trying to find the words. But there were no words, not yet. Instead, Noah's hand twitched, and with what little strength he could muster, he motioned for a pen and paper. It was a simple request, but one that would change everything. It was his way of communicating, his way of saying, "I'm ready to tell you the truth." Sharon grabbed the pen and paper with shaking hands, her breath catching in her throat as she placed them in front of Noah. "Who did this?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. Noah slowly raised his hand and, with a laborious effort, began to write. The room was eerily silent, the air thick with anticipation. Every eye was trained on Noah as he painstakingly scrawled the name of the person responsible for the crash. Sharon and Nick watched, unable to tear their eyes away from the paper as Noah finished writing. Then, with a final, exhausted sigh, he collapsed back into his bed, his eyes fluttering shut once more. For a moment, there was no sound. No movement. Just the silence of a room filled with tension, disbelief, and dread. Sharon was the first to reach for the paper, her hands trembling as she read the name Noah had written. She gasped, her eyes widening in shock. Nick stepped forward, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. The name on the paper was one they never expected, Holden Novak. It was as if the floor had been ripped out from under them. Holden Novak, a man they had all come to know and trust in Los Angeles, had been the one behind Noah's accident. The revelation hit like a thunderclap, reverberating through the very core of their beings. How could it be? What had happened to the man they had once believed was a friend? What had driven him to do this to Noah, to them? The answer was as elusive as Holden himself. For Sharon and Nick, the revelation was nothing short of devastating. They had placed their faith in Holden, had believed his calm demeanor and apparent concern for their family. And now, to learn that he was responsible for the one thing they had feared most, their son's life being taken from them, left them reeling. The emotional toll was almost too much to bear. And yet, there was still a sense of unfinished business, a nagging question that wouldn't go away: why? Holden's motivations were still shrouded in mystery. Had it been a simple act of rage? Or was there something deeper at play? Whatever the reason, Holden's betrayal was now clear, and it would change everything in Genoa City. Victoria, Kyle, and the others who had come to know Holden would have to reckon with the fact that the man they trusted had been playing a dangerous game all along. But as the answers began to emerge, so did new questions about the true depth of Holden's involvement, his connection to Victor, and how far he was willing to go to destroy anyone in his path. Noah's awakening and the subsequent revelation were only the beginning. The truth about Holden Novak's role in the crash would tear through Genoa City like wildfire, sparking a chain of events that no one could have predicted. Kyle, still reeling from his own mistakes and tangled relationships, would find himself pulled into the chaos. Sharon and Nick, already dealing with the emotional fallout of Noah's injury, would have to grapple with the knowledge that the man they once trusted was now their enemy. And Holden, the man who had been so charming, so convincing, would have to face the consequences of his actions, with nowhere left to hide. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of Genoa City, and Noah, now awake and aware, had become the linchpin in a game of power, lies, and betrayal that was far from over. The truth had been revealed, but the journey to justice and redemption was just beginning. Noah, in the midst of his physical and emotional recovery, now held the key to unraveling a mystery that could tear apart the lives of everyone he loved. The drama of the young and the restless had reached a new boiling point. Genoa City's residents were on the edge of their seats, watching as the stakes escalated. Secrets were no longer safe, and everyone, from Victoria, Kyle, Sharon, to Holden himself, would have to confront the consequences of their actions. The fallout from Noah's accident was just the beginning, and Genoa City would never be the same. The suspense in Genoa City continues to mount, and as the pieces of the puzzle slowly begin to fall into place, the big question on everyone's mind is, who is behind Noah's accident? The truth, hidden in plain sight, is coming closer to being revealed, but the identity of the perpetrator has yet to be confirmed. What's even more chilling is the unmistakable sense of familiarity surrounding the name that Noah wrote on that piece of paper. The question on everyone's lips, is it one of them? As the drama unfolds, Kane, Claire, and Holden are the three names that seem to linger in the air, whispered with suspicion and distrust. These characters, long known for their chaotic presence in Genoa City, are no strangers to conflict and manipulation. Could they be the ones behind this heinous act? Kane Ashby, a man whose connections to the darker corners of the city have often been questioned, has already shown a willingness to go to extreme lengths to protect his own interests. Claire, with her web of secrets and hidden motives, has always danced on the edge of right and wrong. And Holden Novak, who has charmed his way into the lives of so many, now stands under the spotlight, with his past increasingly called into question. All three have been at the center of previous controversies, making it all the more likely that one of them could be responsible for Noah's pain. The question isn't just about who did it, but why. What would drive one of these individuals, who has all played key roles in the dramatic life of Genoa City, to harm Noah? Was it personal? Was it a calculated move, part of a larger scheme? Or was it an accident, a wrong place at the wrong time situation that just escalated into something much darker? For Nick, the revelation that someone in his circle could be responsible for his son's pain is almost too much to bear. His protective instincts are at their peak, and the emotional toll of seeing his son in such a vulnerable state has pushed him to the edge. The question of revenge, of retribution, is consuming him. He is not just angry, he is furious. The idea that someone he once considered an ally, a friend, could have orchestrated this kind of attack is tearing him apart. His obsession with finding the truth and taking justice into his own hands is quickly spiraling into dangerous territory. There's no telling what lengths Nick will go to in order to uncover the identity of the person responsible. For him, justice is not enough. It's about vengeance. And once the truth is revealed, Nick will stop at nothing to ensure the person who did this pays. But, as is often the case in Genoa City, the truth is never as simple as it seems. Even as Noah regains his strength, unable to speak but communicating his knowledge through gestures, the sense of dread grows. The mystery lingers, feeding on the anxiety and mistrust that is already bubbling beneath the surface. The writers have expertly woven a web of uncertainty, keeping viewers guessing as to whether it's someone completely unexpected or one of the more obvious suspects like Kane, Claire, or Holden. Could it be that someone we already know is behind the attack, or is there an even darker twist waiting to be uncovered? The anticipation is unbearable, and the need for answers grows with each passing episode. And just when you think you might have pieced together the clues, the writers keep the suspense alive, teasing the reveal and ensuring the audience remains hooked. In the meantime, Kane and Claire continue to play their respective roles in the drama. Kane, who has always been a wild card in the battle for power and control, finds himself increasingly on edge. His past, full of moral ambiguity and questionable decisions, makes him a prime suspect in the eyes of those who are already suspicious of his motives. The more he tries to distance himself from the chaos, the more he seems to be drawn into it. Claire, too, has a checkered history, often caught between loyalty and self-interest. Her actions are calculated, and she knows how to play people against each other to get what she wants. But as the pressure mounts, will Claire's facade crack, revealing the darker truth beneath? Holden, meanwhile, is caught in a precarious position. His charm and manipulative skills have gotten him far in Genoa City, but with the walls closing in around him, he is starting to realize that his past actions are catching up with him in ways he cannot control. His relationship with Claire and his dealings with others in the city are under scrutiny, and with every secret exposed, the chances of him being the one responsible for Noah's accident grow more likely. But is Holden truly the mastermind behind this crime, or is he another pawn in a much larger game? As the story intensifies, viewers are left on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the moment when the truth will finally come to light. Will it be one of the familiar faces, Kane, Claire, or Holden, or will there be a new revelation that shocks Genoa City to its core? Whatever the outcome, the impact will be far-reaching, affecting not only those involved but also the very fabric of Genoa City itself. Next week, the long-awaited name reveal is set to shake the foundations of everything the residents of Genoa City thought they knew. Will Nick's thirst for revenge be quenched, or will he find himself caught in a storm of consequences far beyond his control? Will Sharon stand by her husband in his pursuit of justice, or will the truth tear their family apart? And most importantly, will Noah, once he is able to speak, reveal the identity of the person who betrayed him in a way no one expected? The tension is palpable. The weight is almost unbearable. Genoa City's darkest secrets are about to be exposed, and the fallout will be nothing short of catastrophic. As the drama unfolds, one thing is certain, no one will escape unscathed. And in Genoa City, even the most trusted alliances can crumble in the blink of an eye. Would you like me to continue this dramatic build-up and focus on the final reveal of the perpetrator in future episodes, or explore the fallout from the truth once it's unveiled? Let me know how you'd like to proceed.